Return of the Antichrists. Here to fucking talk about all the peace and anti-materialism and all that fucking minimalist good shit. Woo! So yeah, dude, it really sucks about how they're fucking poisoning us and shit with the food we eat.
Everything we eat, everything we breathe, everything we drink has something in it that subjugates us to the system we live in.
But it could be done without all that bullshit if we were making it ourselves and knew what the fuck was in it.
I mean,
we don't know. We're just taking things that we didn't make.
It's like when you look at, like, honestly on level, like, all feelings aside, how many girls from high school have you seen drop from like a 10 to like a 4? A lot, right?
A lot, yeah.
You know what that is?
What?
It's the aspartame, all the shit they put into your food, those artificial preservatives, these shits that they're finding out are carcinogenic, that are bad for your health. They're pumping it in your food. You look at the kids, how many of your friends from high school have autistic, mentally disabled, or some otherwise disabled children, whether it's a physical or a mental deformity?
I know a few people.
A few people. I have a lot of friends who have either non-verbal kids, autistic children, mentally disabled, physically disabled, or some otherwise handicapped kids.
Yeah, there's lots of...
How many of your high school
defects
friends?
going around.
How many of your high school friends have those issues?
I've met all kinds of people with all kinds of issues.
I mean, when I was in school,
We're fucked up.
when I was in school, I remember the issues were a lot less bad than they are today. Like, I'd say the ratio maybe when we were in school was like 5 to 10% of kids. Now it's like 50-50.
Is it now?
I mean, I'd say it's 50-50 now. Like, I don't know if, like, the next kid that I hear about my friend having is going to be, like, autistic, nonverbal, or disabled, or mentally handicapped, or physically handicapped, or...
You're right, it does seem like it has gotten more.
The rate's getting up. Like, not only that, you look at people being gay. Think about, like, 20 years ago. How many people do you know that were gay? I'm not talking about out the closet. I'm talking about just people that you generally could tell were gay.
Well, when I grew up, it was fucking, like, you were kind of ousted if you were gay. Like, it was, that's how...
And that was a thing, too.
And isn't that crazy, like, how in my lifetime it's changed. Like, I'm so glad, because my mom is married to a woman. So,
I mean,
she has, you know, we give these people rights the same way we stopped oppressing women, the same way we stopped having slaves in the United States.
I mean, love is love, but at the same time, when you look at nature, now they're saying that there's like over 500 homosexual species of animals in nature. Now, what that tells me is that we're discovering homosexuality is becoming rampant in nature. We're starting to see that. Now, when you look at, I mean, and I'm not saying that Alex Jones is right about everything he says, but when you look at the government putting shit in the water to turn people gay.
It actually didn't turn the frogs gay. It actually just changed their gender.
Yeah, but I mean, that's still, it changed their gender. That did something to them. We're being chemically adulterated. There's a fact there. Like, when you look at, they say that farmers shouldn't use fertilizers. Why? Because it does runoff. Runoff goes into the environment and it poisons the animals. That's the same reason pesticides are bad, is because it goes into the environment.
And if you care so much about crops and everything, and the runoff, and just any type of waste or anything bad from farming, you should know that when you eat meat, you're actually consuming more plants and causing more consumption of plant harvesting than if you were just eating plants.
Not only that, there's another funny aspect of that you just pointed out.
Alright, so my fucking camera ran out of space, but we left off on, it's funny how the Hindus, they worship cows, but then they actually partake in a lot of dairy, and dairy is the sexual exploitation of cows in a systematic, industrialized manner, and it's horrific what the cows endure in factory farms, which is what a majority of farming in the world is factory farming. And the cows basically they can't just make milk on their own. Like no mammal just makes milk constantly. Like they have to be
You know what's
like
really nasty
pregnant.
about milk?
What?
I mean, you probably know as a vegan.
Yeah, I do know.
But your milk that you drink for your fucking cereal, you might want to pour out your bowl of Captain Crunch as you listen to this, because the only bowls I eat when I'm having breakfast are straight reefer. Take that how you will. But yeah, your milk is fucking pus, blood, food dye to make it white, all this extra bullshit. You might as well pop zits off your cousin's back and eat those if you're gonna put that in your cereal. Congratulations.
Yeah, and like, what happens to the cows is so they have to be pregnant, and so they have to forcibly inseminate the cow. They have to they shove their arm inside of the cow's anus and rearrange the cow's organs to make it sexually ready. And then they forcibly inseminate it. The place where they do this is literally called a rape rack. They call it that. Where's that letter?
I got you. But yeah, no, I mean, and that's that shit, like, it's cool to stab a cow, gut it while it's alive, rip its skin off and turn it into a coat, but hey, do you want to wear a Jesus coat? Do you want to wear my skin?
No.
Well, there was a serial killer, I can't remember his name, I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. But the one that would wear people's skins like fucking Leatherface and that shit.
Yeah.
That's totally normal if it's a fucking cow or a sheep, whatever the fuck you want to wear, put its skin on, it's totally fine. As soon as you do that with a person, you're a fucking freak. Look at Jew skin lamps. What's the difference between that and the leather couch you're sitting on?
There is none. That's why I don't sit on leather. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's like surrounded by serial killers.
Yeah, I mean, that's that shit. It's
People
like...
will try to justify eating meat through saying that it tastes good. It's the same as, like...
I mean, people taste good.
Yeah, that's like, what if Jeffrey Dahmer said the same thing? Like, oh, well, I was eating it for food. It tasted good. So,
I mean,
do you equate your morals to that of Jeffrey Dahmer?
I mean, that's the funny thing is, like, you look at a serial killer compared to someone that eats animals, and it's like, yeah, I mean, if you get a child when they're really young, and you just, like, gut them out, like, oh my god, dude, the liver tastes so much better in, like, a 3-year-old kid instead of an adult. Like, somehow when the adult gets older, their just liver is not as delicious and ripe, you know what I mean? Like, when you, like, gut that child open, it's just so good, you gotta get it right off the bone. That sounds disgusting, but you talk about a sheep, yeah, mutton, shit like that. Yeah. Look at eggs. Oh my god, dude, if you could take an aborted fetus, it's so much better than when you let the wife get pregnant with the baby. Like, dude, if you could just, like, have sex with a girl and impregnate her and take the miscarriage and cook that, it's so much better. Like, you can make fucking shit with it. You can put onions in it. It's so good.
You're
but an omelet's
that,
cool. An omelet's cool.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It really doesn't. But I mean, people will justify it. They'll be like, oh, well, it's not a kid, it's an animal. Oh, okay, so I guess since your child is an abortion, it's not a human. So does that make it okay to eat it? I mean, not really. I mean,
another thing with the cows in the dairy industry is once the baby cow is born, it gets taken away from its mother, and the mother cow and the baby cow are crying out for days, and in sadness. And then the baby cow is put into a box, a veal crate in most cases is what it's called, and shipped around for like between 2 to 3 months, and so its muscles won't. They do that so its muscles won't develop, and then it's sent for slaughter for veal.
I mean, and that's the thing is, I mean, you look at like animals, and you can tell when a dog loves you. You can tell when a dog is afraid. You know when your dog is upset and uncomfortable. You can feel it. Because that animal has soul. It has, like, something in its eyes that alerts you to the fact it's not just a fucking object. Like, my parents, they kind of treat their dogs like furniture on a level. Where it's like, oh, well, he died, so let's replace him with a new one. Let's get this one because that one's getting old. But I mean, at the same time, you look at like fucking animals, they're not just furniture.
That's the thing with pets, is like we view them as like commodities or fashion ornaments, and we
Or just
breed
a
them.
protective
We
service.
breed them for ourselves to like use.
I mean,
That's,
you look
at the end of the
people
day,
use
you
dogs like
were
a tool.
exactly people.
It's an object.
But it's really another sentient being that you're dominating its entire life. When really it could be free, living its own life with its own family.
Like, I had a wild bobcat. I've told you about it several times. Because, like, I brag about that little dude. He was adorable. He was perfect. But, I mean, my little, like, half Bobby.
But
Like,
your animals all chose to be with you,
Yeah,
except the
like-
one that you rescued.
well, I mean, all my animals chose to be with me. And the
Right.
ones I didn't choose personally through choosing me, like my parents picked. But I picked those animals the same way they picked me, where we had that bond. Like, you don't force an animal to love you. It comes to you. You don't pick it up, and if you pick it up, it fights you.
Yeah.
But if you show it that love, it understands what you're giving it. Like, that's why I picked up snakes, and I'm cool with snakes. I'm cool with all animals. Wasps, I respect them. I don't fuck with them because they're assholes, but I respect them the same way they won't go after me because I respect them. If you show fear, an animal senses that fear. And what is it that people always say is we hate what we don't understand. We hate what we fear. Like, the things we're afraid of are the things we don't understand. If you show fear towards an animal, you're basically telling it, I don't know what the fuck you want, but I don't fuck with you. You give it that energy that it's like, yo, you don't fuck with me, and I don't know why you don't fuck with me, but I don't fuck with you now, so I'm gonna fuck you up. What the fuck you doing in my hood? And an animal can't speak to you. So it's like, it's just gonna fuck you up at that point. Like, you've unleashed hell on yourself because you literally didn't want to fuck with this thing that didn't really give a shit. It's like, I don't fuck with you. Now it's like, yo, you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you, get out. And you're not leaving, so now it's gonna go after you. If you show that kind of, like, not dominance, but understanding that respect, like, no animal is gonna go out of its way to attack you for no fucking reason. Like, nothing is gonna go out of its way to attack you for no fucking reason. You provoke whatever happens to you.
I'm pretty sure there's bobcats and shit that hunt us down when we go out.
I mean, let's say you get jumped by a bunch of Bloods and Crips. You provoked that on yourself. You knew the area you were walking. You knew what was out there. You knew the kind of shit that goes down there. You're not ignorant to this shit. If you walk around in a place where bobtails are fucking known to be roaming around the fucking shit, like, you kind of walked into a place where you knew shit goes down. You came unprepared. You got fucked up. Like, that's your fault. Like, you can't get mad at a bear for coming at you. You know a bear will run if you bang trash can lids. So, I mean, it's obviously afraid of the noise and shit. It obviously isn't trying to fuck with shit. It's minding its business. Someone comes along, it's like, yo, what the fuck you doing in my hood? At the same time, you mind your business, you stick around your shit. It's not gonna come to a community of people. And if it does, it's not gonna fuck with the people because it knows it's a community of people.
Yeah.
How many bears you gonna see walk up on 40 people deep? Like, yo, I'm gonna fuck all of them up. Nah, they're gonna fuck off. They're not even gonna go around the area because they know it's a community full of people. Same way, why would you walk around some woods where you know bears roam around? You know they're probably gonna maul you on your own, so why would you fuck with it? I mean, everything can cohabitate peacefully just the same way. If you're black, why would you go into the middle of a neighborhood where the KKK all live?
Well, humans versus humans is different versus human versus animals, which
It's 'cause we don't understand them.
They can't be spoken to or reasoned with.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is humans versus humans, you can't even reason with all people. Like, those white girls that go off to the Middle East to prove how, like, Syrian refugees aren't so bad and they get raped and, like,
and
decapitated.
that's the whole concept with species.
Exactly.
Why.
I mean, it's just division. It's like, if you're not a part of it, you can't really expect to just totally assimilate if you're not a part of it. You have to become part of what you're trying to assimilate to. That's the problem with immigrants, is when you come into a country expecting to impose your country's laws, you're coming into a place expecting to turn it into your place. You're going into the bear's territory expecting them to just work around you when you're supposed to work around the place you're going into. If you know there's bobcats that roam this fucking land that eat random ass fucking animals, because that's what they do, You can't really go into that expecting that they're going to leave you alone just because you're special. Like, you're not special. They're going to eat you the same way they would eat anything else. So if you're going to go through that place, come prepared.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the same time, it goes back to, like, eating animals. Like I was telling you before, like, you shouldn't really go after something. Like, there's no way one dude's going to kill a bear on his own. But if 30 people kill it, then that's going to give one person a whole year's supply. Or all of them their whole supply of meat. They don't need to eat the bear the same way 30 people aren't just going to hunt a bear for no reason. The same way one person's not going to kill it. That person might get eaten if the bear comes after them.
There are people that hunt animals all the time, even though it's not needed.
And that is fucked. And that goes back to, like, trophy hunting too. It's like, why would you kill an animal just for its fucking head? Like, that's the stupidest shit in the fucking world. Like, yeah, so I just shot this thing. Like, well, congratulations. Anybody could shoot it. Like, anybody could pick up a gun. Anybody could drive a Ferrari. Anybody could build it. It's just metal. The whole point is why the fuck would you do it just to prove it? Especially at the cost it takes. If you're driving around in a Ferrari and that cost tens of thousands of little Chinese child slaves fucking their whole life just to build you that shit, is it really worth it? The amount of life it took to give you this simple pleasure that really could be enjoyed in any other fucking circumstance? Like, it just, I don't know. I mean, we got more than enough. We just keep trying to make more because we never have enough. That's why Walmart is stocked with hundreds of thousands of steaks. And people buy maybe 7,000 of them. And then how many do we throw away that homeless people could have eaten? But we waste. And we grow these animals just in case somebody wants to eat it. Not because they will, but just in case somebody wants to buy this. We got it there. And then if it's never bought, let's just throw it away. We'll grow more.
It's disgusting.
It's a life. That's a fucking life you just thrown away.
A whole life of suffering.
And it's for people to just possibly buy it. You kill something so someone has a choice. When we could all choose to coexist. And you know what I was thinking too? With the animals, you know how you say they don't realize that they're eating other animals?
Yeah. Well,
If you
people realize that they're eating other animals. But
yeah, but hypothetically, like, you can domesticate an animal through feeding it, because I proved that with my bobcat, right? I gave him mac and cheese.
Yeah.
So, like, what if you,
That's not what you should have gave him.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, like, at the same time, these animals that eat meat, what if you gave them vegan-based meat, and essentially everything became domesticated under one?
Because cats are actually carnivorous.
Well, I mean, what if you gave them that carnivorous meat, because, like you said, it's just the proteins in the shit that they're getting. Yeah. So what if you gave it to them in a protein form, but it's just plant-based meat? Everything could essentially eat plant-based meat, and if you're feeding animals, everything could be domesticated and coexist peacefully.
I wonder.
Like, everything could be one. Like, that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's gonna happen for sure, but that's like a level of where it's like, you domesticate dogs through feeding them. What if you domesticate every single animal? Like, what if you walk up to a bear with 100 kilos of fucking plant-based meat, and it's like, hey buddy, here you go, and you just give it love. You just give it love. Everything lives off of plants. Like, that could be a peaceful world. I don't know if it's possible or not, but it's something worth looking into. Especially where you consider everything could live off of plants.
Domesticating bears and making them...
I mean, animals.
All in nature. Like, not necessarily keeping all of them in cages, but making, like,
I mean, even if you want to say it's not possible to domesticate animals, look at literally the bears in the carnivals. They domesticate them with electrics. Why not domesticate them with love? Because what animal would not accept love?
I don't believe in the traditional definition of domesticating animals, which is like caging them up and shit.
Well, I mean,
I only like coexistence.
Like, my logic of domestication is like, I've domesticated you as a friend the same way you domesticated me as a friend. We showed each other mutual interests.
Well, yeah,
respect and love,
I guess it just means
friends.
Like taking somebody,
turning something from savage
in your care. Under your domicile, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if me and you fuck with each other, we're domesticated. The only difference between a wild animal and a domestic one is the domestic one respects you.
Okay.
So if you domesticate life...
Just a better form of domestication where we're not stuck, leaving them in our house all day, bored as
That's
fuck.
not domestication, that's enslavement. That's like saying your job domesticated you. I'm talking like...
Some people leave their dogs in crates or like chained up to a fence all day.
Isn't that slavery in a sense? Like, would you do that to a black person in
exactly
1700s America?
That's exactly what
That's
I'm talking
not domestication.
Like, you
then.
I like coexistence.
Well, you know the Egyptians domesticated cats.
Where, like, the animal has free will at all times to either be in nature or to, like, chill in a home if they wish.
Like, a wild cat...
Well, we can never restrict them from running away.
An outdoor cat is what I would consider a really good example of domesticated, where it's like, it doesn't live at your house, it just sleeps there at night and chooses to accept that as its place of residence. The cat chooses you more than you choose the cat in that kind of sense, where it's like, I roam the streets, I only come here because I want to. You're my friend because I let you be my friend. Whereas a dog is like, I can't live anywhere but here, I would not survive without you, my whole life revolves around you giving a fuck. Now the cat doesn't need you. It can live its whole life without you. It just chooses to have you in its life. The same way a good wife is the wife where it's like, I could fuck any other dude, but I pick you because you're the guy I want to come home to. You don't tell her to come home. She chooses to come home. You don't tell the cat to live with you. The cat chooses you. You don't choose the animals to live in your yard. Like, you know when people feed deer and shit in their yard and the deers come back? That's domesticated. Like, that's what true domestication is.
Yeah.
The shit that people have today, that's enslavement of nature.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to have a pet dog and raise it like your kid, feel free. If you want to let your kid live at home until he's 75 and then you die and the kid lives on another 30 years with your inheritance, feel free. But at the same time, I mean, that's your choice. That's their choice. Your kid might run away one day when they're 15 because they don't want to fuck with you no more. Your dog might run away one day. Like, that's always an option. But I mean, forcing shit on shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, you think we should call it a sesh? Is there more shit we should talk about?
I suppose that's cool. Fuck yeah, I mean, fucking animal rights.
Animal rights, fucking goddamn poison that they're pumping inside of them that we're eating. It's...
Do you want to go into aspartame and all that shit?
Didn't we already cover that in the last video?
I think we vaguely did.
Well, we can touch it up again if you want.
Shit, I'm down with that. I mean...
Yeah, the fucking aspartame and how...
Yeah, like you got diet sodas, they put aspartame in it because they wanted to replace sugar. Then you got the lithium they spray in the atmosphere and they diagnose you bipolar and then they feed you lithium
and
pills.
what's the reason they claim they're spraying the lithium in the atmosphere as a test?
Yeah, so NASA has the official website. I don't know if it's still up. I saw it like 3 years ago, but ultimately it said that yes, we spray canisters with lithium, and I think it was either beronium, barium, or something that started with a B, but lithium was the primary ingredient.
Yeah, look it up right now.
Yeah, so they spray that up into the atmosphere to test to make sure the canisters work, because they just want to make sure that they work. That's their whole purpose. And it's like, well, to work for what? To make sure that they actually function as they're supposed to. Well, what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to spray lithium into the atmosphere. For what purpose? To make sure that they actually do it when we need them to do it. Well, why would you need them to do it? To make sure that they work if we ever needed to use them. It's literally a loop. It's just fucking ridiculous. Look up NASA. Oh, you're looking up NASA sprays lithium? Yeah, tracers, clouds, and trails. That might be it. But then doctors have even acknowledged that they don't actually know how lithium helps bipolar disorder, but they use it, and it's one of the predominant treatments of it. So you seeing that shit? Is that where it is? Yeah, there you go. Barium, trimethyl aluminum, and lithium. Literally. They have it out there for people to fucking see it. What's lithium for? For treating bipolar disorder, because it's a chemical imbalance. You can look it up on NASA's fucking website, and if you don't want to believe facts, how the fuck are you going to deny NASA.gov? Like, if you deny NASA.gov, then hey, the world is flat too. Welcome to the world where we live on a disc in a holographic simulation, cause your god is surely a magic man in the sky, you fucking imbecile.
I don't know about the flat earth shit.
No, I'm just saying if you truly believe that NASA's a lie, then you might as well believe that. I'm not saying that's actually true. And if you took that seriously, then you must be as dumb as shit.
I'm dumb. I'm stoned.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, like, fucking...
But yeah,
I've dealt with enough people telling me I'm a crazy,
lithium
psychopathic, delusional
vapor
retard.
is used to study neutral winds in the upper atmosphere. Lithium gas has an unusually bright, narrow band emission at 670.7 nanometers, a wavelength in the infrared range, which enables it to be visible in the daytime with cameras with infrared filters. In fact, lithium is the only vapor that can be imaged during the day and is also one of the few vapors that can be used at high altitudes.
Did it say they use aluminum?
Barium, also.
Didn't it say aluminum in there, though?
It said trimethyl aluminum.
Yeah, and not only that, aluminum is a carcinogen. Speaking of which, if you use aluminum cookware, you should get rid of it because it is the most cancerous causing material that we ingest on a daily basis, including in soda, because your soda is in aluminum cans.
So it's used to study neutral winds in the upper atmosphere. So they're spraying all this fucking cancerous causing shit to study winds.
No, I mean, that's that shit, but somehow it helps your bipolar disorder, but they're spraying it into the fucking atmosphere. So you breathe it in, it fucks your brain up, makes you chemically disbalanced, you're all of a sudden bipolar, so you go to your doctor who tells you, hey, you've got a chemical disbalance, take some lithium, it will fix it. Lithium is what gave you the disorder in the first place, so take more, it'll fix you, surely. How the fuck does that work? It's shit like that. I mean, literally, people think the government's good. They want more regulations, they want to vote people in. The voting machines are literally rigged, it is a fucking simulation.
It's puppets.
Shadow puppets. They killed dictators and they put new people in charge.
John F. Kennedy was gonna talk about it and they killed him.
I mean, that's why it's like literally like anybody speaking truth dies. I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ. I'd like to see someone put a bullet in my head.
Hence the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like, it's nice to meet you. I'm Jesus. Cheers. But yeah, nah, I mean, seriously though, it's fucking ridiculous. The amount of shit they pump into us. Like, you know Mountain Dew is illegal in every other country except America for the most part?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
BVO, brominated vegetable oil. If you look that up, it is fucking bad for your health. I can't even remember why, but you got your phone on you.
Vegetable oil is bad?
No, brominated vegetable oil, BVO. It is one of the ingredients in Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew also has, I remember...
Well, soda's just terrible for you.
If I can phrase it correctly, Mountain Dew has components of nuclear weapons in it, or a component that isn't a nuclear weapon, or it has something isolated from nuclear weaponry within it that makes it illegal in the rest of the world. It's not legal in Europe. In England, I got it from a singular bus station in a fucking vending machine from an Indian place. Because you know Indians somehow have whatever the fuck you can't get in other countries. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, shit. It's not legal because it's fucking bad for you.
Yeah.
And people don't even find that mind-boggling. Like, McDonald's in Europe is different than McDonald's in America because Europe actually has health standards. And people in America complain because it's like, oh, McDonald's burgers aren't as good in Europe. And it's like, yeah, because that's what healthy food tastes like. Sorry. Sucks. It's like, oh, vegan food sucks. And it's like, yeah, because that's literally like what health tastes like. Sorry that you're ingesting chemicals on a daily.
Yeah, just pumped with fucking hormones and antibiotics.
And it's really how you spice the food that matters most. And that's something people don't see because they're so used to eating chicken nuggets on a regular basis to the point where it's like as soon as they eat something with flavor in it, it's like, what's this? I don't like it. It's like, that's called food. That's what most people eat.
It's just a bunch of cruelty to fucking animals.
Yeah, like, enjoy your Hot Pockets. Like, enjoy being diabetic when you're 40 and, like, fucking being on an insulin needle. enjoy having kids with mental deformities and physical deformities, enjoy being a fat, bloated sack of shit, and being miserable with your life because they're adulterating your serotonin levels to the point where you're a fucking suicidal sack of shit every fucking day of your life, and you're slaving away to a system that is literally profiting off of your fucking enslavement to the point where you're working away for $7 an hour, where realistically you need 10 to survive. Then you're being pumped with shit that's dropping your serotonin, disbalancing your brain on top of the shit they're spraying on you, being pumped with fucking fluoride to the point where you're pacified, and then they're just sitting here saying, hey, if you vote for this guy, your whole life will be better. And then they put the other dude into office like some sort of sick joke anyways, because the votes are rigged. Your vote doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden you bitch about it for like fucking 4 years because that's what the news tells you to do. And then 4 years later you think your vote's gonna matter this time, so you vote again. And then the joke's on you because fuck you anyways. And that's the system we live in. Like, you look at George Bush, fought a war on terror. I haven't seen that destroyed. You look at the war on drugs, how long has that been going on? Because I lost track after 20 years. And then you look at Obama, he talks about, I'm going to get all the troops out of the Middle East, I'm going to get rid of the war, ISIL this, ISIL that, and then ISIS, all that shit. And fucking talking about radical Islam. I don't even know what the fuck the news was saying, because it flip-flops anywhere you look. They literally print the same fucking article with a spin on it depending on where you live, so that you're divided with your fellow fucking neighbors, so that nobody sees the bigger picture, which is that you're getting fucked. And you're taking the dildo because you think it's your fucking wife and it's really your brother. But the whole time you're trying to figure out who's fucking you in the ass. It doesn't matter who's fucking you in the ass. You're supposed to be getting some pussy right now, and you're getting fucked in the ass, trying to figure out who's fucking you in the ass, when the biggest fucking problem is that your ass is getting fucked. Who gives a shit? If there's a dick in your ass, I think that's the issue. When your dick is supposed to be going in something. Like, who gives a shit whose dick is in you? There's a dick in you right now. Do you really give a shit? If you do, I mean, you got to reprioritize, man. Like, your priorities are fucked up if you're worried about, like, the fact that whose dick it is when there's a dick in you. Like, I don't want a dick in me, no matter what.
I mean, we don't have to really relate it to, like, sexuality. There's nothing wrong with wanting a dick in your ass.
I mean, love is love, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you're trying to get some pussy, and you got a dick inside of you.
As a straight dude, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's my logic. Like, if you're gay, you're gay. If you're straight, you're straight. If you're a lesbian, you're a lesbian. It doesn't matter what you love, what you do. But if you're getting fucked in a figurative sense, it doesn't matter who's fucking you.
Yeah.
The biggest priority is, why are you being fucked when you're supposed to be the one fucking? Like, that, I mean, that to me is the biggest issue. And you're just letting it happen. It's like, if your dealer robbed you, it's like, who? Who robbed you? It doesn't matter who robbed you. Somebody stole your weed.
It's like life could be so much better. The pussy's like right there in front of you. And you just, nope, want to keep getting fucked in the ass for some reason.
I almost wish that was what Trump's speech was about when he said grab them by the pussy, but I know it wasn't. And I don't even think he could grasp this message, to be honest. I don't know. But, I mean, I feel like if he could understand the message of this, he would not be who he is. Because who would want to fuck someone when the message is don't fuck people?
Oh no.
Like, love people, but don't fuck them.
Well, let's fucking roll a spliff and call it a sesh, though.
Yo, I fuck with that.
Antichrists out.